Good evening, everybody. Good to see everybody. And I wonder if there's anybody here on this call today that has never been here before. If you'd like to unmute please, and just introduce yourself. Let us know you're here. Hi, Nicole.
Hi. It's my first time. I've been watching videos.
Oh, well, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Where are you calling from?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, welcome. I see you spell Nicole just the same way that our other Nicole spells Nicole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I see that too, so I'm a big fan already.
Already? You're a big fan.
There's more of us than there used to be, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I just started on Saturday, I think, and I feel amazing.
Oh, so good.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So you decided to join us. I'm so glad you did.
I did.
We're glad you're here, Nicole. Is there anybody else here for the first time that's never been here before? Or have you been here before and you haven't introduced yourself yet? Just unmute and say hi. Let us know you're here. Anybody?
Hi, I'm Dale. I've been here the whole time and I've been hiding in the shadows. So I joined the group and they've brought me out of my shell a little. So I'm saying hi.
Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that you've been here every week and that you've just made the decision today. Like, I can put my camera on and I can say hi. There you go. I'm glad you're here, Dale. Where are you from, Dale?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually going to meet up with Nicole.
You are?
Yeah.
A women's meetup. How about that?
For two, with no vans.
With no vans. You don't need a van for a meetup.
20-30 minutes apart, so it's like, let's do it.
Oh, lovely. That sounds great. Terrific. Thanks for introducing yourself, Dale.
Thanks for all you've done for me. You've changed my life, and I appreciate that so much.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad that's happened for you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? First time here, second time here? Haven't introduced yourself? Okay. Let's begin.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to Lulu's Way, Healthy Food, Healthy Life. My name is Nicole and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be your host this evening. To keep this meeting free from distraction, we ask that all in attendance please mute yourselves unless you are speaking. We also ask that you keep the video mode turned off if you are doing anything other than sitting and participating in this meeting so that we can minimize distraction. In this community, we gather to support, encourage, and inspire on the benefits of nutrition, weight loss, wellness, and the joy that comes from choosing to serve yourself well. We are not medically trained, nor do we have formal training in nutrition. We come together here for the sole purpose of providing support, sharing experiences, and promoting a healthy lifestyle. It may be wise to check with your healthcare professional with any dietary suggestions or advice you receive from this group discussion, particularly if you have health challenges. Individuals in this group may have different ideas on how to eat healthy. Just figure out what works best for you and do it your way.
Thanks, Nicole.
Yeah. So, our topic for tonight is really to discuss the upcoming holiday or holiday meals for those of us who celebrate Easter or anyone who's just planning a family gathering. We thought it might be good when we have a lot of new people to talk about how we handle the holidays.
Yes. So, it's good to see everybody. And I will not be celebrating Easter because I won't be home. I'm not going to be home for this holiday. And it's interesting because, you know, I don't really celebrate Easter for like what it is, but every year we celebrate it. I'm usually home at Easter and we, you know, have a special meal. That's basically what it is. It's a special meal with a handful of family members, and for me it's just not a religious holiday, and for some people it is, and for some people it's just the Easter bunny comes, you know, and that's just like, that's what it's about, and that's fine too. But whatever celebrating or family get-togethers you're going to have, whatever nature they are, they typically revolve around food. And just like every other, whether it's a holiday or just a get-together meal with friends or just whatever, what a birthday party, it just, whatever is going on, for me, it just doesn't have to be about the food. How do you resist family traditions, the family traditions of certain foods? It's just like, it's time to start to get, to get different traditions. I just always find it the easiest for me is always to bring my own food. I can have somebody invite me to their house, and they can say like, oh, we'll have what you need, we'll have what you need. Oh, we have healthy food. We always eat healthy. And somebody else is healthy, and my healthy might look different. And I'm not gonna chance it, because I'm not gonna lose what I have. Not for a second. I'm going to lose what I have. So I don't want to be in a situation that I'm not going to get what I want, and that what I need. And then if I do concede to somebody else's food, and it does work for me because it does comply with the food plan and I can put a meal together, I'm usually disappointed, because nobody can make a meal that I love more than me. I mean, I know what I love and what I prefer, how I like things cooked, how I like things together. So I just do me, I just do me. And any of you that have been through holidays so far, I remember the first batch of holidays, that first year. It's just like the idea of like Christmas without like ravioli, like it just was like foreign to me. It was just like foreign, I mean, it's just like, it's the way I grew up. Mom would be rolling the dough and making the homemade raviolis and the stuffed artichokes and all that stuff. And it was always, and it was tradition. It was all tradition. And, I took that tradition over, and I mean, my parents have been gone for over 30 years, but for years, I did the big Italian feast. Everybody came over for the big Italian feast. And then I began this food plan, and I still continued to do the big Italian feast. I could easily just do it for other people. And so I was just still doing the big Italian feast, and I would, have like 12 people around the table, and 5 courses, and it was great because I was busy changing courses and doing all that, and I did enjoy it. And then I just had my meal off to the side, and then when I started getting like, when the kids got older, and then like I was kind of winding down at work and I was going to retire, I'm just like, something, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. It's like a week's worth of work to make this meal. You're just constantly, you're planning it, you're making lists, and so I just created new traditions. So I do have new traditions that involves dialing the phone and having food show up at the door. That's my new tradition. Really good food though, not my food. I could still make a meal out of where this food comes from, but like I said, I'm usually disappointed. So for Easter, I would be interested to hear what your plans are for Easter. Your actual plans with your family. Are you cooking? Are you invited somewhere? And what your plan is. What is your game plan for you, so that you can end the day? All I want is, at the end of the day, I want to say to myself, you honored yourself today. You didn't look for an excuse today. You didn't disappoint yourself today. And you're right on track. Every day that I'm on track, I am closer and closer to, I just feel like I keep getting healthier. It's what seems to be. I feel like every batch of food that I put in my body each day brings me to another level of health. And I just want to just keep doing that, because I just keep feeling better and better. And I want all of you to feel that too. And I love those that share here that do feel that way. And it's just, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Nothing tastes better. Nothing tastes better than the way that this feels. So let us know what you're doing for Easter, and what your game plan is for staying on plan. Nicole, what's your plans?
Thank you. Well, I have been thoroughly indoctrinated in the school of Lulu and about this topic, and I'm a willing participant. But for Easter, my family all comes to my house for most of the holidays. My family comes to my house, and I cook a big meal, and each person brings something. And so, in the beginning, it wasn't really hard for me because I'm a pescatarian, so I don't eat meat. So for most of these holidays, I'm used to not eating most of the things that I'm cooking because it has, meat in it. And so it's just a little bit different in that I make my own meal now ahead of time, my own regular meal, and just have it when it's time for me to eat. And usually that's before people come because we eat it too as a family, and that's a little late for me. So, this time, out of the kindness of her heart, my stepmom is bringing the ham because it's hard for me to buy ham. And so she's bringing that. My sister's bringing something, and then I'll make a bunch of sides and dessert and for the guests. And I feel really comfortable doing that. I don't feel tempted by it. I like making these things that people enjoy. And, we have a few healthy options, but honestly, those aren't the ones that are really eaten. It's the other stuff. So that's kind of the plan for this Sunday. And, it doesn't make me uncomfortable or anything anymore. Last week, I had to go to a funeral for my cousin, and there was a luncheon right after that funeral, and everybody sat to visit, and I just sat to visit with a cup of coffee, and people didn't even ask me, how come you're not eating? Or, we talked all about, that looks good, and who brought that, and whatever. And I just felt like, I can do this anywhere, anytime, just take care of myself the way I need to. And I had my lunch in the car because I thought it might go a little long, and that worked out fine. So, and I think in the very beginning when I started to think about this plan, like when I saw Lulu's video and I thought about, can I do this? I started worrying about the holidays. Oh, what about, this, and what about that? But once you get going and you have it under your belt, you don't want to give it up. At least if you're like me, I don't want to lose it over just a meal, because I would lose it over a meal. If I said, I could just have this one meal and then get back on track, that's just like what I did, all the time from 18 to 55, and it didn't work. So I don't ever want to do that anymore. So I'm looking forward to, what's amazing is I don't even focus on the food anymore. I need to focus a little bit on, I'm preparing it. So what do people want? But for me, I'm not thinking, what do I want? Because I know what I'm going to have, and I know what I want ultimately is not to, keep this pattern and being overweight. So it's just not even the focus. It's fun and laughing and playing games and listening to what people are really saying and watching all the nuances of family dynamics. It's that kind of thing. And then relief when it's all over. So it's just enjoying them, in person. And when you're the host, you kind of have a lot to do anyway. So there's a lot to focus on. But it's really just a choice and a joy now. Like, it isn't like, oh, poor me, I can't do this like the rest of the people here can. It's like, I don't want it. I don't want what that brings. And I'm good with that. I'm excited about it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Sounds great. I loved when you said, like, when you went to the funeral, how you had your lunch in the car just in case it went later than usual. And that's just about being prepared, like, yeah, like, I'll be home in time for lunch, and then you're not. Or what's what can feel unreasonable is that, like, oh my God, I want to stay, but I'm hungry and I have to go home and have lunch. You know, like, you don't have to be in that situation. You just put it in a little cooler, you put it in the car. Well, probably where you live, you don't need a cooler right now.
Just a little ice pack, that's all.
Maybe just a little ice pack.
Yeah.
And then even if you go home with it, you come home with it. I've done this countless times that I've just had my meal in the car, and I've come home and had it. Just bringing it just in case. You know, I think I'll be home, but I might not. And it's just about always forethinking, you know. And yeah, it sounds like you really got the holidays down pat. It's just like, yep, I'm just gonna sit and watch. And you know, actually these get-togethers are pretty entertaining. I can just kind of watch what's going on, listen to what's going on, and it's nice to just be like the hostess, and just if you enjoy that, you know, if you enjoy it. I always did enjoy it until I didn't anymore. And then but while I did, I really did, you know, because people are like, you know, you did a great job, everything's great, and it's just very gratifying to serve a nice meal to people, you know. But it just doesn't mean you have to eat it. You don't have to be you know, distracted with it. And just, I mean, every holiday that I cooked before I was on this plan, I mean, by the time the meal came, I had already eaten, like, just picking everything and tasting everything. And it's really interesting. You don't have to test everything. You really don't.
Mm-hmm.
We really know. I know.
Yeah, there's plenty of volunteers too to taste test usually.
Yeah. And it's really funny because, like, I'm such a foodie that, like, I know if what it needs without even tasting it. I just know, you know. And like my family loves eggplant parmesan, so once in a while I'll get myself really generous with my time, and I'll say, I'm gonna make you all a platter of eggplant parm, you know. And like, so I'll make it, and you know, it comes out a little bit different every time, just because, right? Different breadcrumbs or different this, whatever. And sometimes when it's done, I'll say, I know this is a really good batch. Like, trust me, this is a good batch. And it will be, because I just know if it's like an extra special batch. I don't have to taste it. I know. I just know. I can feel it, you know. And, you know, I haven't eaten that for over a decade, right? So, don't need it. It's not my source of happiness. It's their source of happiness, because they don't abuse it. They don't use it for anything other than, you know, they're having a meal. They stop, like, the tray of it isn't even gone yet. They eat it for like 3 days. Like, you know what I mean? That's not my jam, you know? So, so that's who I make it for, you know? So.
Mm-hmm. That's how I am too. And, you know, in the past, holidays were usually a time where the day after the holiday was the day I would start over again, because there had been a lot of excess eating. Yeah. But then there was always trouble because there's so much leftover.
Right.
And then, oh, well, we got to wait till the leftovers are gone. So that pushes out the getting back on track, right. You know, just a disaster plan. So all the leftovers, except for what my husband wants, go home with people. And they're, you know, they're really happy because they get to take all that with them. And I'm happy because it's not here. Yeah. So the focus has just changed, and it's just a beautiful thing. I don't want to ever let go, because it just makes the holidays really special. The time with my family is what's most special to me about the holidays. Yeah. So, and making memories and stuff like that. And I have memories of all the holidays when I was growing up, and a lot of them revolved around special dishes and stuff. But mainly it was like, I couldn't wait to be at my grandma and grandpa's house, you know. I couldn't wait to see everyone. And so the focus can change if you kind of let that stuff go. And I think for my nephew, I hope he remembers different fun things for the holidays, you know, but it isn't about, like engaging in that cycle again. Like, one of the lies I used to tell myself was, after this holiday, I'll get back on track. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm excited to hear what you guys are planning, if you're doing something for this holiday, or just in general, what your thoughts are on this or anything else.
Yeah, one other thing, Nicole, when you were saying how you just look around at everybody and just like you just love everybody, but isn't it really great when you can experience this holiday with just kind of like feeling that love and also loving yourself? At the same time, it's just like you love yourself and you love other people. You're feeling the love for everybody else. You're feeling the love for yourself instead of you feeling disgusted. I mean, because I spent so many years just feeling disgusted with myself.
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful thing, and I'll think about that because I'm not going to be hungry. I'm eating my beautiful meals. That is loving myself that day and every day. But yeah, I'll think about that. That is a neat thing.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, Barb. Hello.
Hey, Barb.
I wanted to share what I was going to do for this holiday. So Easter's not really a big deal for me, but I like being with friends. And my neighbor invites us over every year for Easter supper. And they're big Catholics. They're like, this is a big holiday for them. And she's Italian. So like there's a ham and there's this and there's that because, they cook way too much food. They being the Italians, so nothing against Italians, but they cook a lot of food. So anyway, but she knows me, and she knows that I will bring my big ass salad. And I guess what I wanted to say to people is that once you start doing this for a while, and people realize your lifestyle, they just accept it, just like I've accepted it. They accept it. And so one of the neat things was I was at my sister's house this week and she bought me a gift, and she hasn't bought me a gift in forever, but do you know what she bought me? A to-go big ass salad bowl that's got like a Tupperware lid that I can take, and it's got its own separate container for like the oil, right? And then another little separate thing. So like if you wanted things not to be mixed right away, that might get, I don't know what that would be. Like in the old days, you would probably put croutons on this thing so that the croutons didn't get all soggy, right? But we don't do croutons. So I don't know what would go on that. I don't even see me using it. But I just thought it was so cool that she wanted to get me something, and that's what she came up with, a big ass salad bowl for my to go. And today I used it because I was at her house. We're doing some cleanup at her house, and then I was going to my nephew's baseball game at 4:00, and so I was going to be there for lunch and dinner. So I put my big ass salad in that bowl, and I had that for lunch, and then I had my dinner ready for me when I was traveling back from the baseball game, because I left there at 5 so I could be here for 6, and because it was in Connecticut, so it was an hour away. And I just, proper planning prevents piss poor performance, right? So I was just very thankful that my sister just knows me now, that if you're going to get me anything, get me something useful. And that bowl, it fits, and it's what's that metal? It's stainless steel, right?
Yep.
On the inside. So, and it fits the whole salad. I mean, it's a lot of, we all know how big that salad is, right? But it's a bowl about this deep like this, and it fits the whole thing. It's fantastic. So if you all just keep doing it, people learn that, my neighbor knows that for Easter Sunday, I'm not eating anything. Don't plan on me. I'm going to bring my own. I bring it in a bowl. I dump it onto a plate, and I just enjoy the company, just like Lulu and Nicole said. So that's my plan. That's my plan for every holiday. I just bring my own food because it does taste better, Lulu. You're 100% right. Nobody can get you enough vegetables, and nobody can do it the way we do. So, yeah.
Great,
plan.
Barb. Awesome. Yeah. And I love when you said when people really realize that this is my lifestyle. It's not like when people realize that I'm on a diet. It's like when people realize that this is my lifestyle and they expect it. They just expect it. And
Yeah.
then nobody's insulted because, I mean, you know, you have to get through a lot, like when you're first doing this and somebody's, you know, you're not eating something that somebody cooked for you, and, you know, they feel bad that you're not having it. You feel bad that you're not having it. Just don't have it. Because it needs to start somewhere where you just, you know, pull away from that, and you just eventually everybody gets it, you know?
Yeah. I find it a lot easier too, because if somebody wants to make something for me, then I have to grill them about everything that's in that dish.
Yeah.
So what did you use? Oh, you used that? Well, what's in that? And then it almost, they get a little defensive, I think.
Yeah.
It could be my presentation of the questioning too. It was kind of like a big spotlight. What is in this dish, you know? But
And then you're like, no, I don't want that.
no, I can't have that. It's got sugar.
Yeah.
Or this or that.
It's
or
not good
whatever
enough.
is
You make
that-
it feel like their food's not good enough. Or people get
Yeah.
a little tricky about, like, their food is healthy. This is healthy. No, it's not.
No.
You know, but and I'm not gonna. I don't want to call anybody's food not healthy. You know.
Right.
And I just say I just want to keep it simple. It's just easier for me to bring my own, and just trust me, I'm good. You know.
Yeah, you know, I will have to say the one benefit of having lactose and gluten intolerance is that I can use that, and then people just go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't question it, right? But other than that, they're like, "Well, why can't you?" You know, in the beginning, it was like, "Well, what's wrong with this?" And I can just say, "Oh, well, it's got lactose in it, and I can't. I'm intolerant to that, so it just doesn't make me feel good." And that solved a lot of issues, but now they just all get it.
Yeah. Good.
So we went to the movies and dinner yesterday. So we went to the movies, and we went out to dinner, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's go to this Thai place." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good." And it was kind of early for me for dinner anyway, and so I just said, "Yeah, that's a good place." And they said, "Will you find something?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, I'll be good." And then we get there, and I'm like, they're like, "What do you have?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not eating." I said, I had a big salad at lunch, and I'm not hungry. That's what I said, but sort of a white lie, but not really. Yeah. And they were like, "Okay." And then they just, ate around me, and I just drank my water, and nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
But yeah, so you just kind of go along with it, and then just do your own thing. That's what I say.
Yeah, and you just say, "I'm just here because I want to be with everybody. That's why I'm here. I'm not here."
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah, they get it. Good.
One more thing, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
I just wanted you to know that non-scale victory, I have a annual physical coming up. So I just did all my blood work for that, and my cholesterol numbers are all in the green, which means and my triglycerides were never in the green, and this plan is what puts triglycerides to bed, because I don't know if anybody else has ever always had high triglycerides. I've never been able, even when I was losing weight, I could never bring those down. And I'm not sure what causes those to go high. I'm guessing it has something to do with cheese and all that good stuff, but I don't really know. And, but now that I'm on this plan, my triglycerides are all in range. And so, and everything else too. So
beautiful, Barb.
Yeah.
Yay, nice.
Pretty excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
All my numbers came back great, so I'm just
That's huge.
Happy, healthy little person over here in Rhode Island.
Yay!
Yay!
All right,
That's
thank
wonderful, Barb.
Thanks, Barb.
You're welcome.
You should post your stainless steel gift bowl on Facebook sometime with the salad.
I'll try to remember.
Yeah.
That,
so we can all ogle it.
And it's pretty. It's the bomb.
Yeah, why don't you maybe you can put the link in the Facebook group. For that,
I will.
For that big ass salad bowl that has all the little sections.
Yeah, because I'm sure she got it off of Amazon, because she's an Amazon buyer.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try to find it.
Try to find it. That would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. Marie?
I had spent many years food focused, and then things changed about 10 years ago. So it's a very small blended family, but everybody respects the way that we're eating now. So I feel very fortunate that, I'm not I don't feel uncomfortable in eating the way that we eat and having to, justify it or anything. And it's such an easy process. Going through the store is so easy. It's so nice to go up and down aisles and go, nope. It just simplifies everything.
Very
I don't
simple.
have to look at crackers and go, are they gluten-free? There's no crackers.
Yeah.
So it's really a wonderful program. And I thank you for that. And I'm going to sign off.
Yeah, good. What are you doing for Easter, Marie?
I am going to cook, but people are going to suffer through salad and vegetables and rice and a meat product. They're having a brunch earlier elsewhere, so I'm sure they'll get their whole carb fix and everything earlier. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Good for you, Marie.
Thank you.
You're in it to win it.
I sure am.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Stacy
Hi,
Brown. Stacy Brown.
Where is she?
Hey Lulu and Nicole, everyone. We have a potluck at church every Sunday, and it'll be a much bigger potluck this Sunday. But I've been bringing my soup to church since mid-January, and everybody just knows that's what I do. I went to a wedding last Saturday, and I knew that I wasn't going to eat anything at the reception. So I brought my food and I ate it in the car on the way to the reception, which was kind of my normal eating time. But in retrospect, I wish that I had just eaten my food at the reception, because I knew, 99% of the people, and they all know me. So it would have been more comfortable eating when everyone else was eating instead of just kind of sitting there. And so that's one thing that I would do differently. So it's interesting how I'm in the no negotiation mindset. And when I tell people, like someone said to me prior to the reception, oh, you can go off your diet for one day. And I said, well, if I were an alcoholic, would you say, oh, you can just drink for one day? And they kind of looked at me horrified. And then I think they kind of got it. But it is kind of nice to go through these situations, because I've gotten really comfortable with it, and people are more comfortable asking me questions. So I'm super happy how it's going. And I don't think I would feel weird about going anywhere with my big jar of soup. Everyone likes my sock that's on it. I've got this black sock, and it really is nice because the jar is really hot, and so I can just hang on to it. And that always seems to be a conversation. So yeah, the other thing that I wanted to add, I was weighing myself more than once a month, and I was super anxious to get to a certain weight, which I think I mentioned before would be what I was when I got out of the Marine Corps. And so I did achieve that weight. And then I stopped weighing myself. And it was so nice to not be weighing myself. I mean, I wasn't weighing myself every day, but it's so nice to just be like, okay, this is just never going to end. So you don't have to weigh yourself. And so anyway, I do have another goal of what I was when I got out of boot camp, but that's going to be a while. But anyway, everything is going really well, and I appreciate everyone so much on these calls. And I always feel like I'm with these really wise women, and I'm paying attention to everything that's said, and so many things have helped me. I haven't had to go through these experiences myself. So I want to say again how much I appreciate everyone. And that's it.
Thanks so much, Stacy. And both things can feel uncomfortable, like bringing your food into a reception can feel uncomfortable, or sitting there and not eating at all can feel uncomfortable. So it's like both of those things. It's just about getting used to it,
I wouldn't have been uncomfortable bringing in my food, I don't think.
Yeah.
When I got to that point, but I had already ate it. But I'm just talking about future. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
We just have to get used to the strangeness of it.
Yeah. And first and foremost for me is the timing. Like, what's the timing going to be? Am I willing to hold off for another hour when I'm hungry now, and I can eat now and sit with everybody and not eat? And so it all depends. A lot of it depends. And a lot of times I'll go in to a reception and I will assess the situation. If I think it would be cool if I brought something in, or if it would be weird if I brought something in. I certainly don't want to ruin like somebody's feel for like this planned gorgeous meal with centerpieces on the table and rose petals everywhere, and then me bring like a Tupperware in. You know what I mean? I might feel funny doing that. So not that I'll feel funny. I guess I just have respect for the fact that they've got this feel and this kind of theme going on, and I was like, I don't need to be bringing a Tupperware in here, you know. And then there's some situations that I just know it would be totally cool. So some restaurants don't mind if you bring food in, and some do. I'm going to say most probably do, because it's kind of like a board of health issue whereby that food wasn't prepared in the kitchen. But you know, I almost never deal with that because I don't really socialize with people that go out to eat.
Another situation that has come up recently is I used to meet people for lunch that I hadn't seen in a long time. And so I've had to say, well, I don't really go out to eat anymore, but I would meet for a coffee and that's been a little bit awkward. We haven't actually met for coffee, but it's just going to be a different situation. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, or me for a walk if that's kind of my new thing. Like, that's how I socialize with old friends that I used to eat with. It's like, you want to meet for a walk, and then we just walk and talk, and that's an option too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy. Okay, Liz. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, everybody. About the holidays, this time I'm bringing my measured food, and I'm going to remember to bring it this time. So last holiday I had it, and there was so much other stuff that I needed to bring that we're halfway there, and I realized, I forgot it. And the food that I ended up eating there was the food that was packed, that I brought. However, it was not measured. So this time I measure, I make the roasted vegetables. Everyone loves all the assorted roasted vegetables that I make. And so that's what I'm having, plus ham. And they're having ham, so it's not going to be any different. However, it's going to be portioned out. And that's I don't want to be bringing a scale there. I mean, imagine I could, but I just feel more comfortable that it's all thought out, all portioned out. And when it's time to eat, I just have what they're having. It's just all figured out. That's what I'm going to do. I am also going to, so I've been, I gave it a little bit of thought, and I've already figured out, like, for a holiday, I have guys, I have a son and my husband, and I always, like, in advance say, okay, so what are we going to wear? I'd like to see you guys try it on first, and I want to make sure it's clean. I want to make sure it fits, because if it doesn't fit, we have to go buy something that does fit, and I do that for me too. So I know what I'm going to wear. I'm wearing a figure flattering outfit. It's not going to be all loose with, stretchy waistband so I can eat as much as, like in the past. No, I'm wearing a very attractive figure flattering outfit because I'm at my maintenance now. I'm at my normal, weight range, and I'm happy and I feel healthy, and I can wear this clothes and feel good about it. So I have a pretty outfit that I'm going to be wearing, and I'm going to focus on loving my family. And I'm going to take pictures. A lot of times everything happens so fast that no one ends up taking pictures. And I treasure taking, pictures and having nice memories from the event. So I'll do that. And I'm also going to do this thing that I learned like a billion years ago in Weight Watchers, which was plan what you're going to eat and write it down, on a little sticky note or something, and then put it in your pocket. And the power of that is amazing. So I would put it in my pocket, and then I tap my pocket. And like if I'm going on a buffet or something like that, I tap my pocket, and that reminds me, yeah, I remember that's not what I plan to eat. And I just pass over it. It like gives me extra power or something. I love that. So I'm going to be doing that. And while dessert is served, I'm going to discreetly have to go to the bathroom. And I'm confident with saying no thank you. And I'm just going to have to go to the bathroom and just, sometimes if it's like a very, very favorite dessert that I've had problems with in the past, and a lot of times it is because my family is such good cooks. It's better if I'm not there while they're serving. If I can get back there while they're eating, that's not a problem. But to me, that works out better. That timing of that works out better for me. So those are a few of the things that I'm going to be doing. And I hope that helps anyone. And I know that it'll be okay. And like Lulu says, when I write in my gratitude journal that night, it's going to be that I had such a wonderful, loving day with my family, and I have peace. I have peace with myself. So thank you.
Oh, lots of good ideas, Liz. You're very in tune with yourself, and you know what you need and what you need to do to keep your promises to yourself. And like you said, you know you're not going to eat that dessert, but like you're just like, yeah, for some reason I don't want to be around when they're dishing it out, so I won't be. And you're just figuring it all out. You're anticipating and imagining the scenario, and that's what we need to do. I need to anticipate as I'm going to go about my day. Do I need to take my meal with me? Do I, all that, But yeah, I've forgotten a meal before too. That's never good.
Falling down and making those mistakes makes me, and getting back up and makes me wiser and better for the next time, Yeah. So
good, Liz. Excellent.
Thank you, Liz.
Enjoy the holiday.
Thank you.
Joe.
Hi, Joe.
There you go.
I don't have any family down here in Pensacola where I am. I have a good friend who is also widowed. I've been widowed about 3 years. And so sometimes, like we did on Mother's Day, now I've decided that I'm going to see if she wants to go to a movie with me. And then we're going to take a walk on the beach. So if she's not free, because she might be getting together with other friends that celebrate Easter, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to binge watch a streaming thing that I haven't seen for a while. But the other thing I wanted to mention was my husband and I have been vegan for a while, and I'm now pescatarian. And so most of the people that I know are pretty familiar with me not eating the food, that they have, and have gotten used to not trying to having to accommodate me, because I think that's the biggest thing that I ran into even as a vegan. People get all nervous because they don't know what they're going to serve you. And so I don't have that problem as much, but I guess I just find different things that I like to do, like Lulu was saying. So we're going to take a walk, and I also have a community here of 3 vegan friends. And so I'm able to share meals with people all I tell them now is, well, I don't eat bread or anything, but it's very easy to share meals with them because mostly they have similar kinds of food that I'm eating. So, but I know that it was hard at first when we were getting people used to the fact that we were vegan, just getting to accept the fact that they don't have to accommodate us, that we're perfectly happy to accommodate ourselves.
Right.
And I think and so I don't have that nervousness about doing it anymore, but I like to think I just, after today, when I figured out that it was Easter, I thought, I'm going to call my friend and maybe we'll go to a movie, and just to find other fun things to do. And if I am with my family, then I would do the same thing. I would just not eat with them, but I would enjoy the games and the talking when I'm home up in Wisconsin where I used to live.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I hope your friend's available and that you do that you go to the movies and you go for a walk. Sounds lovely.
Okay.
And you can watch a movie without getting popcorn and candy. You can. Imagine that.
And I can't watch a movie on my own, but so I'll see what's out there.
Yeah.
Because I do love a big screen once in a while.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I have a couple things that I just started streaming. So
good. Well, it sounds like your plans they're making you smile. I can see your smile, so that's good.
That's one of the biggest things, Lulu. I feel so much joy since I've started with your different groups, and after the meetup, I had something wonderful happen. I got frustrated at a car dealer for 5 minutes, and then I thought, wait a minute, I should just be grateful that I found a good car dealer. And I think being focusing on joy and also, like that our book said, communicating that, how can I bring joy to other people? If that's your focus, then all this stuff doesn't really make as much difference.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it. And I so much appreciate this group.
So you were just about to go off on the guy and then you just reeled it back in?
What happened is I had a generator that was being tuned up. And I knew it was going to take 3 hours, and I got there at 8, and I'm 5 hours from home. And they were wonderful about finding me different parts that I needed, but they went off to lunch a half hour before they were done for an hour lunch.
Oh.
And at first I'm like, well, I sure wouldn't have done that to somebody. But it was a nice day. There was a picnic table out there. My dogs were happy. And I just thought, you know what? Let it go.
Let it go. Yeah.
That you found a good person, and then you have a lovely day to spend.
Yeah.
And I just stopped halfway home at a rest stop instead of going all the way home. And it's just those kind of things. And the same with this food. I've been doing it now almost a couple months. And right now I was thinking, oh man, I really could use one piece of bread or something. But I'm not going to do it because it's the right thing for me to do for myself.
Yeah, good.
So I'm really happy. I just think it's the perfect timing that I found your groups. So I'm so happy about that.
So, not having the bread is something you're doing for yourself, and also not being angry at all those people that went to lunch is something you're doing for yourself too. And that you don't have to be the grouch and saying what's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just
just bringing, how can I bring peace into myself?
Yeah.
Is really, I've had all sorts of examples of how I can do that lately.
Yes,
so
yes, yep. Yeah, with everybody that shares on Tuesday nights, you just get all kinds of ideas on just to change your thoughts, just change your whole idea of it. Go grab for a story that's pleasant rather than unpleasant.
And it's so less stressful to do that.
Yeah.
Good.
I
have to be everybody's mother.
Exactly. You don't have to be the general manager of the universe, right?
Right. Okay, thanks. I'll try to mute my...
Thanks, Joe. Thanks so much.
I love that. I love that the only risk of a binge you're having on the holiday is a Netflix binge.
I know, huh? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, does anyone else want to share? Oh, MF.
Hey,
And
MF.
Pupperuni. The little pup joins.
Yeah. I've got, well, actually, I guess I wanted to put in a couple of things about thankfulness. Because first off, I don't have any family or friends in Iowa or even in the United States. So I don't have to worry about having those kind of problems with social aspects or parties or that kind of stuff. So on the one hand, I was thinking, well, you know, poor me. But the other hand, it's like, no, that's great. I don't have to worry about these problems that all of you guys are having to deal with and come up with solutions for, because I don't need solutions to problems I don't have. And so then I was thinking about more of what we talked about last week when I said, well, I had no problem quitting smoking, being able to stop drinking easily, or more easily than most. And I found it really easy to lose weight this time and to get on the looking after myself bandwagon a lot more easily than I had in the past. And so these are all things to be thankful for. So I started thinking about, I think it's Japanese, I'm not positive, but there's a word for something like mindless eating. Basically, it's because your mouth is lonely. And the word literally means your mouth is lonely, and that's why you eat. And I started thinking, well, maybe that's, my mouth was lonely for a cigarette, then it was lonely for a drink, and then it was lonely for food. And it made me think, I just realized a couple days ago, I've never had fingernails before. I used to chew my fingers like till they were bleeding. I've got fingernails now, so my mouth isn't even lonely for fingernails. And this is just, it's just amazing. And like all of you all have said, it's down to you, Lulu, and thanks to this whole group. So I have so much to be thankful for. And that's it.
Great. Did you intentionally stop biting your nails, or did it just happen?
I just realized my nails were big enough, getting long enough that they started breaking, and I had to start cutting them. And I never had to cut my nails in the past.
Wow.
I've had to file them because, you know, you chew them to the point where you have to file them because they're ripping off. But no, I used to chew my fingernails, chew my fingers. Like, no.
Huh. And you just stopped that. That's good.
It just stopped.
Yeah. Good for you.
I guess my mouth isn't lonely anymore.
There you go. There you go. You know, you just, you know, I think you're just beginning to love yourself, that, you know, there's no loneliness. Alone doesn't mean lonely.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn.
Yeah. Good for you, MF.
That's a beautiful share, MF. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next we have Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Hi. I'm scared to talk.
Oh,
I
my
have the
goodness.
same thing. I have the same thing with my fingernails. I've always, my whole life, chewed until the nubs, and I stopped chewing them too. And I also used to compulsively pick my hair just all the time, and that stopped too. I think my compulsion for food was also compulsion for everything else, and it's gone. I'm just like so much calmer. So
very interesting.
it is really, it's shocking. I'm 68. I have chewed my fingernails to stubs my whole life, and I look. I have fingernails. Look.
Did you intentionally stop?
No.
No. Really?
No.
Wow.
I just lost the compulsion. I think it's the same thing with the mouth and the food and the just like, you know.
Yeah.
All, you know, really eating 3 meals a day and no snacks. And like once I'm done with dinner, I used to just like, until I went to bed, I was like
snacking. You were snacking on your fingers.
I was never satisfied. I was never comfortable. So I think, you know, just I was chewing on whatever I could find, and it's completely gone. So it's a miracle. It's like amazing. You know, in Minnesota, with the cold weather, you know, you're outside all the time, and you're, you know, my stubby fingernails would bleed and stuff along, crack along the edges, and they're like
that hurts.
Yeah. And so it's gone. So
you're not eating in between, not even fingernails.
Yeah. So it's a miracle.
You're not on plan. They're not on the
They're
plan.
not on plan.
No, exactly.
They're a protein.
And
You can have.
I'm not even tempted. It's just amazing. So, and I love your MF. I love your post too, or your share too. So
Yeah, very nice.
yeah. So
Thank you for sharing that and getting out of your comfort zone. You're just blooming.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I'm down 65 pounds since I started on Lulu, and 80 pounds overall. And I'm like, hoping for
Really?
maybe 15, 20 more. And but I've been the lowest I've been in like 35 years, and
Oh,
feeling
dear.
good. So thank you, Lulu. You changed my life.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. 65 and you're down 80.
80 overall. Yeah, I lost like 15 a couple years ago before I started with you, and like 65 since I started with you, and
Wow.
a little more to go. I'm hoping, but
And you just
every pound is good. So
yeah, and you follow the plan, like you just follow the plan.
yeah. I'm not 100%. I'm like 96%, 98%.
Yeah.
But I'm doing what works for me. So
Okay, it's working.
Yep.
I always
working.
say,
It's
I always
working.
say you can do it Dale's way, but Dale's way has got to be working. Yep.
yeah, it's working.
Good.
It's working. Yeah.
Good.
So
Certainly
thank you.
is. Certainly is. Yay. Excellent, Dale.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
I put on my hand and I was like, oh, I don't think I want to talk.
Oh, sure you do.
I'm Joyce. I live in Mississippi. But I'm so glad I found this group. A friend of mine pointed it to me. And before I came, I had just gone through coaching with a coach who had a very good program, very much similar to this one. And I had gone through it before, and I had then gone back, and now this was like the second time. And I was like, after this, what do I do? Because I don't want to pay those thousands of dollars. So then when I found this group here, you all have this, you have the same type of program. No guilty feelings if you fall. Like, oh my God, the other people doing this thing. So for the last 8 months, I've been following it with my other, which is very similar, but I have been following it. And within a year, I lost 25 pounds, which for me, because I'm a small person, was quite a lot. And so I'm excited that I'm going to try because before I didn't have this support group, unless I had to go pay someone or go to a group that was going to make me feel so guilty if I failed. So I'm so glad for this group. For Easter, I'm going to cook. But now because I'm conscious of what I eat, I can cook and don't have to engage in all that crazy eating I used to do before. So thank you so much for this program and the people are here. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Joyce. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, there's so many people want to lose weight and be true to themselves, and they'll pay like you said, thousands of dollars for it. And like, it's just, it used to be in my life, like the more I paid, the more I would stay on it. You know what I mean? I would stay on it because I paid all this money. But now I don't stay on it for money. I stay on it for me, And like, there's no reason for anybody here to make anybody feel guilty if they fall off, because you've got a bigger problem than just feeling guilty. You've fallen off, and like, hopefully you can get back on. Like, there's nobody that needs to shame you for that, because it's already feels bad enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's no requirement here to follow it. But it's about requiring yourself to follow it, just to be true to yourself and just give yourself the best gift. It sounds like you're doing that. Really happy for you, Joyce.
Thank you, Joyce. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard. And what I love is this, this doesn't cost anything. It's just astounding how some of those plans are thousands of dollars when it's really just within your grasp to follow a simple food plan,
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing it, Lulu.
It's
what works.
yeah, you know what it is? It's like, it's simple, but it's not easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just very simple. And what makes it easier is just to not be doing it alone, and just to, so when you just living your life, you know, eating different than everybody, and you just always feel like an oddball, you just know, this, how many other people, they're out doing the same thing. All these people that I'm going to meet with Thursday night, and when I get on my call on Thursday night, I want to be one that's been true to myself since last week too. You know, just feels good to just be true to yourself. You know, feels really good.
Thank you, Joyce. Next up is Nicole with an H.
Yay!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nicole.
So I'm so new to this, but I'm not, as most of us are, I guess, not new to the trying other things.
Yep.
And so the last time that I was successful was after my first child was born. So that was more than 20 years ago. And I don't know yet how successful I will be since I'm so new to it. But what I can say is, I think about 4 days in, all of a sudden I had energy. And I had motivation and energy to go out and work in the yard and do things that I just haven't had the energy for. And so I feel like I will be successful, but even if I weren't in losing any weight, I feel so much better. And so I really thank you for that. And I'm so glad to have found this community. For Easter, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do because, like I said, it's so new. And my mother will have a brunch at her house, and she's extremely judgmental, especially about food. So I've kind of gone back and forth in my head, actually, for the last couple of days, what I might do. Will I just eat some of the things that even though I can't weigh them, I know pretty much how she cooks, and so there will be some things that I could eat. Or do I just eat before and I don't know. I haven't decided.
So would that be a breakfast meal? Well, you said brunch, but would that be a breakfast meal or a lunch meal?
It's more like lunch. But usually there's eggs, there's steamed asparagus, there's some things, but it wouldn't be the quantity that I need.
Yeah.
And it'll be more of like lunch time, even though it's like, so.
Could you bring some extra veggies to supplement and then use some of hers?
Yeah.
Like when you say she's judgmental, if you don't eat her food, is that what it is?
She, she just doesn't understand when people do things differently than her, and she feels it necessary to make comments that let you know that she thinks it's ridiculous or why, or so that's.
Does she struggle with her weight?
She has, yeah. And she's been Weight Watchers for years, and she's at her goal weight, and she claims that she's never hungry. And it's like, well, Mom, other people are. Like, just because you're not doesn't mean. So it's just always kind of difficult with her.
I would love to see you get through that holiday and remain on this plan and come back and tell us about it next week. When I think back to comments that I've gotten, I've said this here before, I don't know if you've heard on the recordings, but people would be like, what are you doing? Like, because I'd be like weighing my food, weighing out a salad. They're like, you're weighing a salad? That's strange. And I'd be like, I know, it is. It is strange. Or I'd say it first. They'd be like, you're weighing a salad? You're like weighing your lunch? And I'll be like, yeah, isn't that crazy? And then just chuckle a little bit. Just be like, yeah, it's nuts. I know it. And I'm doing it, It's just what I'm doing today, you know? And so when you get that comment, instead of it triggering you to feel angry and that she's judgmental, just agree with her. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm having a crazy Easter. You know, just what I'm doing today, Mom. Love you.
I do like the idea of bringing my own vegetables, because I could then take a little bit of what, I mean, she wouldn't think anything about the weighing, because like I said, she's done Weight Watchers for years. So
you could can you take your scale with you?
Yeah. And I'm sure she has a scale there too. But no, I do like the idea of taking the extra veggies, and I've been trying to cut out added sugar for a little over a year now, so I'm getting pretty successful at that. So I'm not worried about that part of things. It's more just
So she's not going to put sugar. She's not going to have like butter on the asparagus and sugar on things and.
No.
Okay.
No. And I definitely am seeking peace for myself.
Yeah. Yep.
That's one of the huge things that led me to want to keep following what you were doing and watching your videos. I'm not all the way caught up yet, but I've been working my way through all of them. I just love your positivity and your attitude of gratitude, and it speaks to me.
Yeah.
And so I've really been working on simplifying my life and seeking peace. And so that's, the confrontation is something that I don't enjoy, and there's no winning.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea, just bringing something to supplement, at least for this first time.
And Nicole, you don't have to win. Let her win. Let her win. You're going to be the winner when you leave there and you've had a meal don't forget your oil too. Don't forget your tablespoon of oil. I don't know if you can get that at Mom's too. But just just let her win, If she says, what are you doing that for? I don't know. Just kooky today, Mom.
Trying it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying it out. You know, Mom, you know what it's like. You've done it too, And I'm just doing it today. And it just feels good, And then just if she says, yeah, you should be, you should be enjoying Easter. It's a holiday. You should be enjoying it, Just say, yeah, you might be right. And then just don't eat it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just if she wants to win, if it feels like that, just let her. Because you're going to be the winner. I
like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just let her win. She's Mom. Just let her win.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all behind you. There's so many of us in this group, Nicole, that the same thing in the very beginning, it felt really hard to just eat the food we wanted to eat to keep ourselves on plan because of what people would say or what they were thinking or how it felt so odd, but you get a couple of those under your belt and it's just so easy. You can't even remember really that you used to stress about it. You know?
And people have judgmental family members too. We've all talked about it here, and we got people that are just like, what are you doing? Look at you. Especially when you're on maintenance and you've got no weight to lose. So I show up all slim and trim and I'm got my big bowl of veggies and they're just kind of give it a break, Don't you ever treat yourself? I'm like, yeah, every day I treat myself,
Yeah.
And, or they say everything in moderation, Lulu, everything in moderation. Well, yeah, if I could do that, I wouldn't have a problem, right? I don't have a moderate bone in my body. I don't have a moderate bone. Everything I do, I go big,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I just remember being at the office and I used to really be embarrassed, weighing my food at my desk, and that took some getting used to. And then I just didn't give a shit. I just took the scale out, put my bowl on it, got all my stuff from the fridge, made my salad. People would walk by and they'd just be some people would have something to say, and I'd just be like, yeah, it's weird. I'm weird. And then at the end of the day, I'm healthy. Like you said, you're already feeling better. You're feeling better. You don't want to backtrack. And like Nicole says, like once you get a couple of holidays under your belt and you've done it, it's almost like it doesn't even matter. It's like you can't even believe you ever worried about it. So this is your opportunity to do get number one done the first time, you know?
Yeah, and I'm glad that it's not, I mean, I have 3 kids, like we've done Easter egg hunts, but they're older now. Yeah. And so we don't do that. So it's not a big holiday for us. I'm a little more concerned about like Christmas.
Yeah.
But that's down the road. So I'm glad that this is kind of
and if you can
maybe
get
a slightly easier one to deal with.
Yep. And when you get a few under your belt, before you know it, it will be Christmas, and you'll just be like, nope, I'm all set. You know, and you're just you'll feel like $1 million because from now until next December, that's a long time. That's a long time to just keep investing in your health every day. Putting this food in your body every day is just investing in your health.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, good. We're glad you're here, Nicole, with an H.
Thank you. Me too.
So excited for you, and we'll be rooting for you and waiting to hear. So just remember, we're all behind you.
Yeah.
We get it.
We get it.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next, we have Jane from New Jersey.
Hey, Jane.
Hi. So I just want to let everybody know what's going on with me. So, yes, my scale is not working properly. So that's why I was gaining. It was like fluctuating. The
The scale, the body scale. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So you got a new scale, and it's
yes.
Oh, good. Good.
So, and I will get an accurate reading in May, but I am feeling so great. I am feeling no more food noise. I'm 100% on plan. I'm following everything, how the plan's supposed to be. Yes. But the biggest thing that I noticed that I don't crave anything anymore. I'm okay. I could walk past anything and it's not gonna bother me.
Yeah, that's what happens to all of us. You got to keep it out of your system.
Yes.
Yeah, you keep it out. Keep it out of your system. You can't do little drips and drabs of it.
Yeah, I can't. That's what I noticed. I have to be 100% on plan.
Yeah.
In order for it to work for me.
In order to be comfortable, so you're not having cravings.
Yes.
You know, I know, like I could eat a cookie right now. I'm not going to gain weight if I eat a cookie, but what that cookie is going to do to me is it's gonna fire it up in my brain again, and it's gonna remember, and then it's gonna have trouble forgetting, and then there goes my peace. You know what I mean? I just want that peaceful feel like you're talking about. Doesn't even call me anymore. Doesn't even matter anymore. There's nothing more peaceful.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Like those foods is history. Like I don't really care about them anymore, and I feel so great about it.
Oh, good. I'm so grateful that you figured out that problem. For anybody that wasn't here, was it last week or the week before? She said, I've been following the plan and I gained 4 pounds. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say because this is the first. So we all kind of thought perhaps she was having problems with her scale. And she said, well, it is a very old scale. So she decided she was going to replace it. And now she's got a more accurate reading. So you didn't gain 4 pounds. So that's good. That's good. And then we thought maybe your food scale was wrong. Maybe you were eating too much or something. I don't know.
No, my food scale is fine.
Good. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, Lulu.
Oh, thank you for letting us know. I love it.
Yep. Awesome, Jane.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Pam. Hey.
Hey, Pam.
Hi. I just kind of wanted to just give an idea for Nicole because I've had a lot of mom things during this time and forever. But one of the things that I do now is because like she would say, oh, but I'm making salad, and the salad she makes for this table of 8 is maybe enough for me. So I've started just saying, hey, Mom, I have this great recipe for roasted veggies, and I really want to make them. I'm going to make them and bring them. And then I just or I make them when I get there if she wants me to come early and help. And that seems to have worked, because then I make them kind of for the table, but I end up taking a lot of them home because I make a big tray. But it has helped, because I don't want to impose on her to say, hey, but you need to make twice that much salad if you want to give me salad. So I just say, hey, I'm going to bring this. It's a great recipe, and I'd like you to try it, and kind of twist it up and around. So it's not that I'm trying to help her, because she doesn't like to give up the holiday either. Like, she needs the help, but refuses to admit to that. So it kind of just, I said, no, Mom, you just make whatever you're making, and I'll add to this, so everybody can give it a try. And that's kind of been working the last couple of, I think from this past year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it worked well. And then for Easter, I'm going to do roasted Brussels sprouts. And I don't remember which one it is, a giant root thing, like this big. It's like purpley on the outside. I think it counts as a grain. I don't know if it's not rutabaga. I think it's parsnip. I don't know which
turnip,
one.
Maybe turnip?
I don't know, but it's like this big. And it's got a real heavy, thick skin. It's almost a little purplish.
Oh, is it rutabaga? Is it orange inside? Orange inside?
I haven't cut it yet, but it's giant, and I've never had it before. So I figured, I told my mom, I said, I'm going to make this too, because it's way too much for me to eat. But I'm not sure which one it is. I think it might be a grain, counted as a...
No, a rutabaga. A rutabaga would be veg.
Are any of those like turnip? How about turnip?
Turnip is a veg.
Is it nearby where you can show it to us?
I could actually. It would be really helpful. Hold on.
I'm dying to know what this is. We need some hold music while Pam runs off
That's a rutabaga, I think.
It's like a little purpley-ish. It feels like, ridiculous hard and heavy, and I don't know.
It's a weapon.
It is. And it's, I can't carry it with one hand.
I looked it up. It's a rutabaga. That is a rutabaga, yeah.
So is that vegetable?
That's vegetable, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking if it's grain, then how the heck am I going to eat all this? If I cook it up. But I'm going to make this too for Easter.
There you go.
It says it's a
cross. I never had it.
It's a cross between a turnip and a wild cabbage.
Oh, I love cabbage, so I'm going to love it. Maybe I'll leave it home for myself.
There you go.
Right, well, I'm making this for Easter.
Kathleen, did you have more to say about that rutabaga?
I just wanted to thank all the new people that spoke up tonight, and how nice it is to hear you. We're so grateful that you're here. And I was very afraid to speak, wouldn't allow my voice on YouTube for a really long time. And when I stepped out of that comfort zone, it made all the difference, and I started to trust this group. So just keep at it. If you're afraid to speak, just keep showing up, and one day you'll just speak, and it's just the beginning of a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Such good support. So I really appreciate everyone that had the courage to speak tonight.
Yeah, because when you speak, we get to know you, We get to know you, and we all just want to get to know you. So I think Liz, were you going like this?
Yes, I just wanted to say that for Pam, that's a rutabaga, but up north we called it turnip. Anyways, it's very hard, and my father taught me to use an old knife and an old hammer, and then you just take the hammer down on the knife to get through so you can cut it. That first cut is really hard. And so I hope that helps. It'll make it so much easier to process it.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna give it
delicious. It's delicious. You will love it.
Oh, good. I'm excited to try it. Yeah.
New England boiled dinners that we would make. That was always one of the vegetables. And I look forward to you enjoying them. I know you'll love them. So enjoy.
Thank you. I'm sure I will.
Now, don't hurt yourself, Pam.
No. And let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
I might make my son help me get it initially opened. because he'll be home Sunday morning. So
Yeah. Do you have a vice? You know, a vice grip?
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he'll yell at me if I use his really good knives. So if I ask him to help, then I'll be good.
There you go.
Very good.
That's it. Thank you. I'll report back.
Yay. Thank you, everybody, for such a great meeting. It was just so nice to get to know the new people here and people that have been around that finally spoke to us. So grateful you did. So grateful. Yay.